Here to encourage, empower, and enlighten women. I am your host, Alyssa Khadija, and this is the Girl I Got You podcast, now streaming on Apple and Spotify. Well, hello again, lovely ladies. It is me, Alyssa Khadija, and welcome back to another episode of the Girl I Got You podcast. And I want to be clear that my intention is to help you help yourself in any way that I can. And today's episode is inspired by a recent run-in that I had on a live stream yesterday with a jealous, bitter, and envious pick-me woman. Long story short, she notices that the guy that she likes is giving me and my friend more attention. And honestly, we don't even look at him in a romantic way. We're just having conversation. And so she kicks my friend out of the room or out of the live stream. And I'm puzzled at this point, thinking, what the fuck was that? And she goes on to say, the pick me, she goes on to accuse me and my friend of being transgender, even though we are biological women. And I just want to make this clear that I have no issues or qualms with the LGBTQIA plus community. But when you're now making false and baseless accusations and claims, I have a problem. So I responded to her and I said, nah, bitch, it never gave that. Never that. And she didn't like that I responded to her. And so she's now foaming at the mouth and yelling and cursing. And I was simply telling her, like, first of all, you take shots and drink and smoke at 9 a.m. Bitch, I'm not concerned about you. Like, you're literally a non-factor and you're just going to stay an irrelevant and miserable bitch. That's not my problem. And, after a while of me and her going back and forth, she's like, I'm just going to leave since everybody is against me now, because the people in the comments were even saying, nah, we definitely know her. Like, she's cool. Talking about me. She's cool. We've been in her live stream. You're tripping. So she leaves. I'm like, yeah, bitch, take that victim mentality with you because you started all of this. And eventually my friend comes back to the live stream and the pick me also comes back to the live stream. And all three of us are just going back and forth. Me and my friend against her against us. And she's saying, oh, you bougie bitches think you're better than anybody else and all kinds of stuff. And I was just saying, like, no, bitch, I don't think I'm better than you. You think I'm better than you. And that's none of my business. You're jealous because you like him and he's not giving you attention because you're desperate. And it was just a whirlwind of a situation. And the reason I brought that up is because so many of the time, people pleasers will allow people to bully them. And in this case, this woman is probably used to bullying everybody, because when women are loud, hostile, aggressive, and belligerent all the time, they tend to be bullies. And they get away with bullying the people that are in their life because they can intimidate them. And I let her know, bitch, you're not going to bully me. I don't know you and I don't care who you are. I'm going to say what the fuck I said. You started it. And that kind of inspired today's episode, where we are going to explore the idea of people pleasing and how we can find our inner bitch, if you would. Now, to be clear, I define bitch as a woman who is zero tolerance, a woman who does not put up with bullshit, a woman who speaks up for herself, a woman who advocates for herself, and she says what's on her mind, regardless of what anybody else thinks or feels. Now, brief disclaimer. I know that I just called the pick me a bitch. She's a different type of bitch. She's just a bitch. But it's not the same, because there's a difference between a woman who is an asshole versus a woman who is simply speaking up and advocating for herself. And that's the true beauty of the inner bitch, as I would call it. So don't be confused. If you need clarification, please just leave a comment or reach out to me on any of my socials. I'll leave those down more so at the end of the episode. But yes, this is what inspired today's episode because as people pleasers, we do have the tendency to lay down on our backs and let people stomp us out and use us and abuse us and do whatever they want to us without saying anything. And this could be in relationships, this can be with your friends, your family, your coworkers, even with strangers. As a people pleaser, you are last in your life. So I wanted to kind of define what people pleasing is and give some examples of it, and then explore different ways that I have discovered my inner bitch and how you can too. So, people pleasing is characterized as putting others' needs above your own. You prioritize the needs and wants of everybody else, and your needs and wants oftentimes go unmet. So, what do I mean by that? Are you somebody who's constantly saying yes, even when you really don't want to? Do you constantly find yourself in situations that you didn't ask to be in, but you just couldn't say no? Do you find yourself going above and beyond for people who do not do the same thing for you? I mean, there's so many examples of it. And if you said yes to any of those things, you might be a people pleaser. Now, I'm not saying that being kind or generous or whatever have you is a bad thing, but there needs to be limits. See, people pleasing is this self-sacrificing and altruistic and, I have to do all and be all kind of mentality. And it's just like, what are you gaining from what are you gaining from just giving all of yourself for nothing in return? What are you giving to other people that you're not getting? What are you gaining from this, right? And so, as somebody who used to be a people pleaser, I used to feel like I needed to be everything to everyone all the time, every day, while being and doing nothing for myself, which was a recipe for failure. But along my journey, I had to realize that I'm people pleasing for people who don't even like me. I'm going above and beyond for people who would never do this for me. I am pouring out my soul and my heart and everything that I have to people who would never do the same. I'm crossing oceans for people who wouldn't even cross over a puddle for me. So this is the basis of people pleasing. If you would, I have to give everything and I expect nothing. No, that's unfair. That's unfair to you, and that's enabling to others. So, again, I want you to know that it's not your fault that you're a people pleaser because depending on your background, you were groomed to grow up and be a people pleaser and a codependent. And if you haven't already, definitely check out my previous episode about the broken childhoods and the journey back to wholeness, because that definitely covers a lot of codependency. Likewise, check out the episode on anxious attachment. Those two go hand in hand and explain a lot more in detail about codependency, anxious attachment, and how unfortunately they cause people to people please. But nonetheless, I was such a resentful, burnt out, exhausted, and unfulfilled person when I was people pleasing because I didn't know that I could be a priority in my life. I thought that if I prioritized myself and put myself first and my needs first, that I was just going to be seen as selfish. I was going to be seen as mean. I was going to be seen as the worst person in the world. But no, now that I am so far along in this journey of healing and in the journey of wholeness, I could give two fucks about what people think I am. Mean, selfish, fantastic. That means I'm doing a good job. Like I I'm just so zero tolerance these days. And I want you to know that where you are right now, you might feel hopeless, but let me be a testimony. Let me be an example of where you can be if you just commit to doing the work. It's not an overnight process. Healing is not linear, but it is one of, if not the most rewarding, not second. It's the second most rewarding thing you can do for yourself in this life. The first is to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. The second is to actually take initiative and heal, baby girl. So, again, please go check out those episodes. I just don't feel like getting into the codependency and anxious attachment thing, but the episodes that I mentioned previously are definitely really good on that. So, what does people pleasing look like for you? And what are some ways that what are some things that can cause people pleasing, essentially? So, number one, growing up in a dysfunctional family dynamic, it'll always breed people pleasing because narcissists thrive off of that power and control. And when a child is afraid of their parent or their caregiver's emotional state and the retaliation that might come with it, they adapt people pleasing as a means of staying safe. You walk on eggshells. You are in sync with your caregiver or your parents' emotions. When they're upset, you got to be upset. When they're happy, you got to be happy. And I honestly and truly believe that family dysfunction and emotional dysfunction in these homes is what's causing a lot of children to have ADHD. Now, I am not a medical professional. I am not a psychologist, psychiatrist, any of that stuff. This is just my opinion. But imagine what that does to a child's brain chemistry when they are constantly in mental and emotional turmoil. They have to be happy when they feel sad, because if they show their emotions, they're going to be told, "Oh, fix your face. Oh, I told you to do it like a happy face." Whatever have you, right? Like that constant weird, mom is angry, so I gotta be angry even though I'm happy. Mom is happy, but I'm angry, but I have to be happy. It's just too much. So I truly believe that this is something that definitely causes long-term cognitive and mental issues with children, but that's just my opinion. As a kid and as a first daughter, I always felt like I needed to maintain this good girl image and meet everybody's expectation of me. Oh, Alyssa's so smart. She's going to be a doctor. She's going to be a lawyer. She's going to be an astronaut. I don't even know at this point. It was just so ridiculous, the amount of expectations that I was under pressure to carry. And for a very long time, I thought that I had to live based off of my family and our extended family's expectation of me. I am 26. I graduated from college in 2020. I did not go back to get my master's. I don't have like a six-figure job. I live at my parents' house. And let me just also side note this. In our culture, it is absolutely normal for young adults to live with their parents until they get married. So I don't want you guys to think that I'm just like a bum or something. I'm so far from that. But point being, people are always saying, "Oh, I thought you would have been a doctor by now. Why don't you go get your master's? You would do so great if you just did this and if you just did that." And I am adamant about it. I don't care what you think that I look like. I am on my own life journey to what God has for me. And nobody is going to force me to do anything to make them comfortable with the idea of my own life. You do you, and I'll do me. And at the end of the day, a lot of people aren't even that concerned about what it is that you're doing with your life. They just want to feel like they have power and control. So, oh, I told them to go get, I don't know, a liposuction, and they got the liposuction. Ah, yes, look at me. I'm so powerful. No, I'm going to live my life. And if other people have a problem with it, I don't care. We have to stop caring what people think about us. Like, as this is literally your life. Fuck what other people think. What other people are thinking is literally none of your business. But going back to that whole point of being the good girl, the issue with being the good girl as a kid is that you keep that good girl image well into your adulthood, if not for the rest of your life. And good girls finish last. I hate to be the one to say it, but good girls and nice girls, they always finish last. And good girls, what do good girls do? They do what they're told to do, regardless of how it makes them feel. And it's so unfortunate because so many of us tiptoe around people's feelings and have to walk on eggshells because we're afraid of being abandoned or rejected. And this is all foolishness. Again, please check out the episode on anxious attachment because this explains a lot on how to stop fearing rejection, how to stop wanting to be wanted or needing to be needed by other people. But again, good girls and nice girls, they finish last. Good girls and nice girls get taken advantage of, they get played, they get dogged out, and they lose out on living the life that they want because they're so busy living their lives to please everybody else. They're living their lives to maintain this image of what other people think they should be or who they think they should be. And come to find out, a lot of the people that we're living for to impress and to appease, they don't even like you. Whether it is your family or friends or a partner, most of the time when you don't respect yourself, other people do not respect you. And if you're a people pleaser or a pushover, if you want to call it that, you're lacking in the self-respect department. And so it's such a weird and slippery slope. People will tell you, oh, be nice or others won't like you. Come to find out, when you're too nice, they probably don't like you anyway. So don't listen to others. This is your life. You live how you want to live. And again, this whole living for other people, it goes beyond family, friends, your church group. This can include anybody, your kids, your spouse, the stranger at the Walmart. When you don't respect yourself, you're going to have a hard time being respected in life. So, with that being said, you are the star. This is your feature film. This is your blockbuster movie. And I know so many people don't even remember Blockbuster from back in the day, but I used to go there with my dad all the time. But that was just a brief side note. This is your show. Imagine the main character or the star of it all worrying about what the background actors and extras think about them or think that they should do. No, this is my show. And if you don't like it, you can, I don't know, scram. But okay. And I want to say this. I have not always been this outspoken. And there have been so many, 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 many times in my life and in recent years that I let people play in my face. Like, I used to get humiliated and intimidated and embarrassed and put down and abused and taken advantage of by so many different people. And I'm not even talking about family. I'm just saying people in general, whether it was in college or when I was in high school, elementary school, with family members, nuclear and extended, with people that I worked with, men that I was in relationships. It was all intersectional. I allowed myself to be ran the fuck over because I had no boundaries, I had no self-esteem, and I was just a good girl. But again, good girls finish last. I want you to keep that in the back of your mind. Good girls finished last. Now, these days, a bitch can't tell me nothing. You can't tell me anything. Like, it took me so long to find my own inner bitch, But I'm so grateful that I did because people know not to mess with me and not to deal with me any kind of way, especially in social settings and especially men, right? I always say if you go low, I'm going to hell. I have no qualms. I give no quarter, no mercy. Like, approach me correctly and I'll approach you correctly. Approach me incorrectly. Oh, bitch, you will get corrected. Okay? And I want you to have that mindset that this is my life and nobody is going to come into it and disrespect me. Like, I used to think to myself, wow, why am I letting people come into my life and make me feel like I wasn't worth anything? Like, how am I letting people come into my life that make me feel like shit about myself? This is my life. And when I started shifting the power dynamic, because a lot of the times we pedestalize other people and we wonder, oh, do they want us in their life? Or, do they like us? Do they accept us? Are we good enough for them? Fuck that. I switched the power dynamic, and instead of asking, do they want me? I started to ask myself, do I want them? Instead of saying, do they want to be my friend? Do I want to be friends with them? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is your life. You have the power to decide. Instead of saying, am I enough for them? Start asking, are they enough for me? Are they even worthy of being in my vicinity, in my life? Because I promise you, and I'm probably going to say this a couple of times in this episode, when you treat people like stars, do not be surprised when they treat you like a fan. I will say that again. When you treat somebody like they are a star, do not be surprised when they start to treat you like a fan. You got to look at yourself as a star, baby. You got to look at yourself like you are the main character. This is your world, and everybody else is just existing in it, okay? You are the salt of the earth. You are the city on the hill that cannot be missed, darling. You are all that and more. Do not ever let anybody come into your life and make you feel like you're the last slice of bread. I've been there. We are not doing that anymore. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Okay? And this is what I say, like, I get so passionate about this because I am a first child. I didn't grow up with any sisters. And I wish that I had a big sister like myself to tell me some of the things that I am telling you. So I am your big sister, your guide to this crazy thing we call life and girlhood and womanhood and the works. I'm here for you. I really am. So, what does people pleasing look like in life as an adult? Now that we've got the background and the foundation. Number one, you do what you're told regardless of whether or not you actually want to do it. So what do I mean by that? Growing up, there was this movie I really enjoyed watching. It was called Ella Enchanted. And Anne Hathaway was the star, and it's almost like a spin-off of like a Cinderella story-ish. So Ella, when she is born, she has like a spell put on her, I think by her fairy godmother. And essentially, the spell is that she does whatever she is told. So if you were to say, Ella, shut up, Ella would have to shut up. If you said, Ella, pour this milk all over yourself, she would have to pour the milk on herself. She did everything. Ella, roll in the dirt. She rolls in the dirt, right? And living with her like wicked stepmother and her evil stepsisters, they're oftentimes taking advantage of Ella. They are using her and abusing her. They are ostracizing her and isolating her. But she had no other choice but to go along with it because she was under the spell. Now, Ella finds the gall to get in touch with her fairy godmother. Her and her fairy godmother go on this adventure away from, their house and the stepmom and the sisters. And Ella starts to find herself. Along the journey of meeting other people, she still has to do what she's told to do. But the whole purpose of her going on the journey is so she can break that spell and that she wouldn't have to people please. Of course, Anne Hathaway did such a good job in that movie. That will always be one of my childhood favorites. But I oftentimes felt like Ella. And I know a lot of people pleasers are just like Ella. You do whatever people tell you to do. You let them shame you and bully you and make you feel bad about yourself because you are under this, not a spell, but this belief. Beliefs are very strong. And so you believe that you deserve it. You believe that if I stand up for myself, they're going to punish me or ostracize me or whatever. Fuck that. I don't care if it's your mama, your daddy, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, girlfriend, your kids, your friends, your coworkers, the people that you go to church with, your pastor, whoever it is. You tell them and you let them know how to come and that they need to come correctly. There is no social group worth dogging yourself out for. I had to find a good word for it because, back in the day, I used to feel obligated to do everything I was asked, told, or commanded to do. And it's so unfortunate because in some cultures, you're not allowed to say no, especially to your family members or elders. And when we raise children to believe that they're never allowed to say no, we raise them to become adults who feel like they are never allowed to say no. And this is how people pleasers are oftentimes created. So we have to really go back into our childhoods and rewrite these stories and rewrite the beliefs that we were taught. Broken children make broken adults. So I get it. I'm not blaming you for your childhood. We've all been there. But we don't say no because we're afraid of intimidation and hostility. But if someone asks you a question, they need to be comfortable with the idea that you're going to say no. Don't ask me a damn yes or no question and then be surprised when I say no. That means, I would rather you command me to do it than ask me to do it. Because when someone asks you to do something or to say something or be whatever and you say no, and they are throwing a tantrum, it's so you didn't really want to ask me, that you just wanted to tell me what to do. I would rather you just do that than pretend to give me the option to say no. And let me tell you this, saying no and not responding has become one of the most freeing things that I've learned to do and that you can do for yourself. Nowadays, people always say, oh, I'm an empath. I feel people's feelings and I'm a healer and I just want to make sure that everybody's okay. No, you're not an empath. You're a people pleaser and you're probably a codependent. No. Me, nowadays, nobody is my responsibility, especially because I don't have kids. I'm not responsible for healing, fixing, making, or doing anything for anybody but myself. If I do choose to help you, it's because I want to, but you're not going to force me to do anything. And one way that people get what they want out of us is through guilt. They will say things to you and about you and smear you and make you feel guilty for saying no. But once you are comfortable feeling your feelings, I don't give a fuck what you think. Let me be the meanest and most stingiest and unhelpful and laziest person under the sun. I don't care. If I don't feel like doing it, I'm not doing it. And what are you going to do about it? Be mad? It sounds like a you problem, right? And again, this is the mentality that you have to have with people. Because if you really let people, they will run you over. They will literally run you into the ground. But learning to say no is freeing. Saying yes all the time is so unkind to yourself. It is selfish to say yes all the time. It is enabling others. See, when you say yes all the time to doing for and helping and being there for other people, you rob them of the opportunity to learn how to do something themselves. You rob them of the opportunity to realize that they have the wherewithal to get it done without you. So look at it this way. You're being selfish to yourself and you're enabling poor behavior in others. You don't want that. So learn to say no. Now, number 2, you make yourself uncomfortable to make other people feel comfortable. Now, what do I mean by that? Brief story here. It's kind of a brief story, but it's a very interesting, story. I have stories for days, by the way, if I just might point that out. But when I was at university, I had a best friend, and we're just going to call her Tiana. So me and Tiana, we went to middle school together and high school. We had some of the same classes, but we weren't really like best of friends. We had mutual friends and were oftentimes in the same like social group, but we never really had like a close personal friendship until we went to college. So this is like my sophomore year, and I'm moving into like the upperclassmen building, and I see her on the front steps, and they're like, "Oh my God, is that you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Like, "Oh my God, where have you been?" And she's like on the 4th floor, I'm on the 1st. And so over that year, me and her grew so close. I was always at her room. She was always in mine. We would hang out. I used to smoke. We would smoke together. We were like the best of friends, thick as thieves. And so at the end of our sophomore year, we both decided, hey, we're going to sign up to be each other's roommates in the fall of 2018. Like, oh my God. And so me at the time, I'm like, this is a good idea. I can't wait. I'm moving in with my best friend. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Everything literally went wrong. So that summer of 2018, I had went to Florida, and remember that situationship with that guy that I really loved? I had went to Florida. I'm there. I am, feeling lonely, and he's like nowhere to be found, and I'm crashing out, mental breakdowns, all of that stuff. So when I come back, I'm so excited to see him. And that just so happens to be the time that we're going into fall 2018. And me and her are supposed to move together. So unfortunately, well, fortunately, now I can say fortunately, we end whatever situation that we had. I'm distraught. I am heartbroken. I'm all torn up about it. Ugh, my heart was so broken. And it's so funny how that all goes, but let me get back into it, right? So she just got into a relationship with a guy. We're going to call him Derek. Okay? Everybody has nicknames in these stories. So her new boyfriend is Derek. I am heartbroken that my situationship or whatever that I was in is over. And immediately as we get our visitation, she moves him in. He has his own dorm, but essentially she moves him in. A guy lives somewhere or is staying or sojourning somewhere when his PlayStation or his Xbox is there. That's how much he was there at our dorm. And thank God we were in like the upperclassmen dorm where she had her own like room and I had my own room, and then we just shared a bathroom, right? So it's like a hallway. Her door is on the right. My door is at the end of the hall. And then on the left, there's our bathroom. Okay. So just wanting to, make it clear that we weren't sleeping in the same room. Thank God. Because I don't know what I would have done if we had to like share the room. But it was hell. It was literally a living hell for me. He was at the dorm every day and every night. That guy would wake up there and fall asleep there. I honestly think he just went to class. She would go to class and leave him in the room. and he's like yelling on his PlayStation and making all kinds of noises, and it was just too much. And I literally had to be in my dorm. Not to say that I was jealous, but I was hurt because I'm like, damn, like I'm going through the worst heartbreak that I've ever gone through in my life. And this bitch is just gallivanting around with this guy. And I had to literally listen to them every other night and sometimes in the daytime have the most loud, aggressive sex that I have ever overheard in my life. Like, you don't want it. Like, I'm still traumatized to this day. And this is why, I've had friends ask me, like, hey, do you want to maybe get an apartment together? We can split the rent. I would rather pay all the rent by myself than to ever share a living space with a friend, anyone in general. But with a friend, no, no. If I'm living somewhere, I'm living on my own with my dog. I'm not doing it. I'm traumatized. Like, I'm literally traumatized. And one of the things that I hated so much was that he would pee on the toilet seat. You know how men just like whip it out, especially in the middle of the night. They don't even care where they're aiming. There's piss on the seat, piss on the floor. He would leave the toilet seat up. And I would like go in there and I'm like, yo, are you or him gonna clean this shit up? Like, they were just such a obnoxious couple to live next to. And I was like, this is not how I thought living with my best friend would have been. I fucking hated it. So going into the spring of 2019, I believe, I told her, I said, you know, hey, maybe, you can like, I don't know, maybe not have him here. It's really a lot for me. And I'm going through so much right now. And she seemed so understanding, but she literally brought him over to the dorm that very night after me talking to her. She brought him to the dorm. Like, it was just so insane. And at that point, that was my final straw. I started commuting back and forth to my house because I lived maybe like 20 minutes away from the campus, not far at all. So I would just, after classes, get on the train and commute to my house and then sleep at my house, do whatever, then come back to campus whenever I had classes. I refused to live with her. And when she found out and realized that I was never there, I think she got upset and was like, what's going on? Where are you? And I said, honestly, Tiana, like, I am just thinking of getting a new roommate. Like, I'm just going to move dorms and you can have this. Like, I'm good off of all of this. And she comes over because she also lived in like the neighborhood adjacent to mine. It's just so weird. Like, we lived in the same area. Same high school, same middle school, conveniently the same college. But she comes over and we're talking and she seems upset. And I'm like boo-hooing and crying and talking about some irrelevant shit and just trying to people please in that moment. Even though I meant what I said, this is too much for me and I want to move out. But because I was afraid of losing her as a friend, I decided to stay. And the bullshit continued happening. It continued. And our friendship just really went down the drain. We're not friends anymore. She's moved on with her life. I've moved on with mine. But why did I bring all that up? We have to stand on business and not make ourselves uncomfortable just to make other people comfortable with our discomfort. How many times, or how much longer rather, are you going to make yourself uncomfortable to make other people comfortable? You think other people are making themselves uncomfortable for you? No, they're doing whatever they want to do. And so you have to, like them, do whatever is best for you, for yourself. Stop being so uncomfortable with the idea of putting yourself first, because everybody is going to put themselves first in life, especially when it's at your expense. So do what everybody else does. Put yourself first. And if somebody tries to guilt you for having boundaries and prioritizing yourself and caring about yourself, then that person didn't really care about you either way. But Going on to the third point, it's almost as if you prioritize everybody else, you're not a priority in your own life. So to a people pleaser, everything and everyone else is a priority but themselves. And as a recovered people pleaser, I can tell you that we would please other people at the expense of our health, of our time, of our energy, of our money, of our resources. Everything is up for grabs. And the chronic people pleasing, as I mentioned before, is so unkind because you lose out and you are just left depleted. And I had to ask myself, okay, if again I'm pouring into everybody else, who is pouring into me? Because I feel like a goddamn raisin. I'm dried up, sun dried. I am depleted. I am exhausted. I am unsatisfied, resentful, and unfulfilled. And you have to really ask yourself, are you okay feeling like this? When all you have to do is say, fuck that, the answer is no. Whatever it is. I mean, I know that there are women who will literally shave off the side of their hair to prove to a man that she loves him. And I have seen it. Don't ask me where. I have seen it, right? So I want y'all to know, people are selfish and people are going to take what they want or take what they can, no matter who they are. It doesn't matter who they are, what title you've given them. People are going to run you dry if you let them. See, here's what it is. People who are narcissists, I'm going to speak from a narcissist perspective. I want what I want. I am a bottomless pit. And if I can't get what I want from you, I'm going to get it from somebody else. I am only here to drain you and deplete you. And I don't give a fuck because I want what I want. Now, I'm not a narcissist, but this is oftentimes the perspective from a user or abuser. They will take whatever you can give them and deplete you. And once they're done, they're going to find another source, which brings me to my next point. You are constantly dealing with or getting into situations with energy vampires. And I think this is one of the last points, before I get into some other stuff, right? An energy vampire, simply put, they're just people who come into contact with us. And because they are bottomless and empty, they drain your energy to feed themselves and to energize themselves. So just like a real vampire absorbs other people's energy, to stay alive, to be fed and nourished or whatever. That's the same thing with energy vampires. They feed off of your energy and the fact that you give a fuck. And the fact that you want to please everybody, they feed off of that. So they can stay energized, they can stay relevant, they can stay alive. So whether you're at church or at the club, or if you are at the mosque or the kitchen or a family event, it doesn't matter where you go, people are people. And there is always going to be at least one energy vampire in the crowd, no matter where you are. And it's so unfortunate that so many women end up in relationships and marriages with energy vampires. Listen, we are electrical people. People benefit or they gain off of energy. We all live off of energy. And when people are depleted and they have no energy, especially if they're an energy vampire, they will go to another source. They will go to different people and essentially attach themselves like a cord and suck that person dry. And I have seen this in my own life happen to myself. I've seen it happen to the women that I know. I have seen it happen to women that I don't know. I mean, a lot of the times a woman could be so beautiful and vibrant and joyful and energetic and just gorgeous. And she gets with a guy, and after a while, everything in her life it declines. She is losing weight or gaining weight. Her hair is falling out. Her facial hair is overgrowing. She's not doing her makeup anymore. She's not dressing in clothes that she used to like. She's just frumpy and looks unmoisturized and distressed. And ugh, this is the sign that an energy vampire has attached themselves to someone and he is sucking her dry, sucking her dry. And this is why I'm so selfish. And well, this is one of the reasons I'm so selfish and I'm so adamant about not giving a flying fuck about men. I don't care what men want. I don't care what they think. I don't care about what makes them feel good. I want to be inconvenient to men. I want to be a hassle when it comes on to men. What's mine is mine and what's yours is mine, sir. The difference between me is I'm not an energy vampire. And for one, even if he's not giving me what's mine is still mine. I'm going to get what I want regardless. Now, if you want to add to that, that's perfectly fine. And of course, he's going to benefit from it as well. But for a man to just come into my life and be benefiting off of me and I'm getting nothing, you lost me at that one, girl. But yeah, energy vampires, they come into your life to drain you of essence. They come to drain you of your resources, your time, your joy, your life force energy. They come to drain you of your soul. And so you have to be very guarded when it comes on to this whole people pleasing thing, because there are some people that will look at you and single you out and target you. They are predators and they know that you're an easy victim, so they will drain you. And if you want to have a good life and a happy life, you've got to start saying no. You've got to start telling people to fuck off. And you have to start finding your inner bitch, your inner voice. There's no way you're going to be happy if all you do is do everything for everyone else but yourself. No, no. And it's funny because now that I'm at this point, you should see how many people want to come out the woodworks and, oh, hey, I was thinking about you. And, oh, hey, how's it going? And, oh, well, what's up with you? No, 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 no. You go back to wherever it is that you came from. Because when I needed you, you were nowhere to be found. All you had to serve me at this table was disrespect. Now that I've walked away from the table, now you want to come with the okey doke and the bells and whistles? No. And it's funny because you remember that guy that I told you about, the situationship, who I was so in love with? I remember I had invited him to a Kappa party on campus. Um that fall after he kind of dumped me and everything. And it's so crazy because I was just so low in myself around that time period. I was so depressed and so sad. And I invited him to the Kappa party, on the promenade. And if you must know, it's Kappa Alpha Psi, not Kappa Delta, Kappa Alpha Psi, right? So I'm there and I'm like, hey, are you coming? And he really had the nerve to respond and say, oh, well, I'm not coming to any parties today. And besides, the only parties I'm going to is if my girl is coming with me. Mind you, this is the girl he left me for. I was so distraught because I just wanted to see if I still had a place in his heart. And I didn't. I didn't. And it's funny because I remember in the midst of my wallowing at this party, I look up and I see a guy's shirt that says, "Stop glorifying rats." Baby girl, stop glorifying rats. Stop pedestalizing these people who are nobodies and who are nothing. Yes, whether they're an energy vampire or not. And this segues me into my last and final point, is that people pleasing makes you get taken advantage of in dating and romantic relationships. See, men are constantly saying that they want a nice girl, that they want a woman who's fit, fine, and feminine with duty, honor, and respect. That's all a bunch of horseshit, I swear, because those are the same women that they're constantly cheating on, disrespecting, and dogging out. The women who care so much about pleasing them and doing for them and my man, my man, my man. Girl, your man is sleeping with like half the neighborhood. Like, what are we saying? Especially if he's just a guy that you're dating and you're going all in for him. Girl, what are you doing? You have to stop giving boyfriends husband privileges. You can't, it's like, and let me just say this as well. You have to stop giving your situationships husband privileges. He hasn't even committed to you yet, if ever. So, no, it's a bunch of bullshit when they say that they want these perfect girlfriends and wives that are always cooking and cleaning and sucking and loving, and they don't want that. Those are the women that they look at as stupid, that they can take advantage of, and that they can control. There's a book called Why Men Love Bitches, and I would definitely suggest reading it because it's such an insightful book on how men are more so attracted to the women that are zero tolerance and that are a little bit bitchy and a little bit spicy. No one wants a good girl. They're liars. They want a good girl so that they can manipulate her and use her. And unfortunately, so many of us were taught the Disney stories. I can't even get my words out because I'm just so, like, I'm fuming. But we were taught about the Disney stories of the damsel in distress and just sit at your castle and do nothing and say nothing until Prince Charming comes along to save you. Fuck the prince. This is real life. Nobody is coming to save you. Men are not going to look at a woman who is a pushover and respect her because you don't even respect yourself. And I'm not saying that real love doesn't exist and that it shouldn't be enjoyed, but most of what we're seeing these days in dating is not real love, it's foolishness. And I can't tell you how many dates I've been on or situationships and relationships that I've been in looking for the love of my dad in men that didn't even love me, men that would dog me out and then play me and tell me and had the nerve to tell me, oh, Alyssa, you're such a nice girl and I think we should still be friends. I want to be friends. You're a great girl. Huh? If I was that fucking great, why are you dumping me? And I want y'all to know this. This is just a side note. I think I'm going to do an episode on some of the tactics and the manipulative behaviors of men, right? Because when a man tells you that he still wants to be friends after a breakup, what he means is, I want to keep one foot in the door just in case you feel like having sex with me. That's it. They just want to be friends so that if you ever conveniently need some sex, he'll be the first person that you call, right? Very manipulative. But nonetheless, when we don't set boundaries with men, they will run all over you. I mean, they will drive you into the ground, stomp you out, bring another woman to come help him stomp you out, and then they drive off into the sunset. They will disrespect you. They will hurt you. They will call you names. All of these things which I have experienced, if not more. Nothing is off limits in a man's arsenal of pain. They have everything under their belt. And they bank on you feeling for him and giving a fuck. Me, I don't feel anything towards men. I don't know if I've just been like screwed over so many times. I don't feel anything for men. I just feel distrust. That's it. And let me say this. I know this might sound like a bitter rant. No, because I love men. I don't trust men, but I love them. Like Aaron Pierre, for example. That's Mufasa, girl. I like looking at fine, good, attractive men. However, I know that men are not to be trusted. I know that they are like pedestalized so much by us women because we have this level of delusion, right? If you want to call it limerence, it's this weird obsession with men that's like, oh, they're so amazing. They're so perfect. And no, they're just people. And my rule of thumb is that unless God puts my husband in front of me, I'm going to keep living my life for myself. And even when I do have a husband, I'm still going to live my life for myself because I refuse to abandon my wants, my needs, and everything in between for a man. I don't care if he's my husband or not. I'm coming first. I'm first. I have to pour into myself to even be able to show up as a good wife and as a good mother to our kids. And so, no, I'm going to be spoiled and pampered. I'm not paying any of the utilities and expenses in my household. My husband will be paying for all of that. And if I don't feel like cleaning, which I probably won't, I'm just going to hire a maid or a nanny or a chef or whoever I need to do what I want them to do. And let me just say this, because a lot of men will say, oh, you're delusional. You want one of the top earners and six figures, and you know how they go on their rants. You women are delusional. You want the 1% of men. Shut up. Shut up. See, I say this because regardless of whether or not I'm married, I'm going to have those things for myself. And if I have them for myself, now why would I pick you up when you can't offer me what I'm offering myself? It's odd. So we have to be very careful when it comes onto these men and these relationships or situationships. Again, we pedestalize men. We make them seem like they're like Adonises or gods or something. And I'm just like, hey, they're just people. They're literally just people. Like, a lot of these men, who the fuck are they anyway? For one, a lot of them are stupid. Like, oftentimes when I'm live streaming and men come in just yelling and belligerent, I ask them, I say, can you spell the word Wednesday? Rarely can they ever spell Wednesday. Rarely. Rarely can they ever formulate 2 and 2 together. It's like they stink. They're stupid. They're sweaty. The 3 S's. I mean, a lot of them don't even like bathe. They don't exfoliate. They don't scrub their bodies. They're just funky and foolish. That's it. Don't let the Dior Sauvage fool you. Don't let the Creed and the Cartier glasses get you down, sister. I'm taking y'all to church right now. Do not let the Amiri's shirt and the True Religion jeans or whatever. Don't let the Italian suit and the loafers and the comb over. Don't let the bright teeth and the bright smile fool you. No, men are just people. They're not gods. They are just people. And when you realize what their actual nature is, it's such a fucking turnoff. It's such a turnoff. For me, what I'm seeing a lot in these days, and even in my whole life that I've seen, not my whole life, but my whole life up until this point, I've seen how these men operate, how they're selfish, and how they'll dog women out, even especially the women who love them so much. And I think that's why they had that whole think like a man era, where it was like, yeah, men, they're selfish. They do whatever they want. They get what they want, and they don't care at whose expense it is. And I would implore you to think the same. I don't care who you are. I'm going to get what I want, and I'm going to do what I want. And what are you going to do? Be upset? Again, that just sounds like a personal problem to you or for you. So with that being said, I strongly believe that, you have to take off the rose-colored glasses and see that they are just people. Men are just people. And me, I'm even disgusted at the thought of someone's like son just on top of me, pounding away and sweating. And I just can't. I literally cannot do it. And maybe it's just because I'm single and intentionally abstinent right now, but I can't. And it's so sad because so many women, and I'm not judging because I've been there, so many women look for the love they never got from their father in the bed with other men. And I think that one of the next episodes is going to be the impact of fatherlessness on a daughter's heart, because so many women are falling into the trap of looking for daddy's love where daddy's love doesn't exist, right? So again, I've been there. I'm not judging, but the love that you're looking for is never going to be found in a man's bed. You got to go to the source. So stay tuned for, that episode, because I think that's definitely going to be a deep cut. But With all that being said, going back to that whole glorifying rats thing, it's so funny that in the past I was chasing this guy and now he realizes that I'm completely done. He's the one chasing me, like texting me in the middle of the night. Even I think yesterday, I didn't see it because his messages are like on DND, but he texted me again saying, "Hey, how are you? How's everything going?" And I'm like, dude, I am done. Like, you stood me up for my birthday, which was like a month ago. You left me for a girl that ended up cheating on you. Every opportunity that you got, I told you that I love you, and you just wasted my time. And I don't know. It's just funny how people, they pretend to love you, and now when you move on with your life, they are now the ones that are chasing behind you. It's just absolutely crazy. So I say all that to say, find your inner bitch. It feels so good to be a bitch. And what society labels as a bitch, I just see as a woman who sets boundaries and has zero tolerance for bullshit. I mean, why are you so nice all the damn time? Like, to be nice means to be stupid. If you actually look at the etymology of the word nice, it means to be stupid. And that's why one of my nickname as a streamer is Not Nice. And people think that I'm this like angry and hateful woman, but really I just don't tolerate bullshit, especially when it comes from men. I don't listen to men. I don't care about what men think. I don't care what they want. I don't. And I generally don't care because I'm happy and I'm living my life. And that's how it should be for you. So I say all that to say, find your inner bitch and find your inner voice. Stop people pleasing. Stop being a pussy. Speak up for yourself. And this is sometimes the harsh motivation that we need, but it's all in love. And before we go, I have some affirmations that I want to give to you so you can listen to them, write them down, and just repeat them to yourself. Of course, you can modify them to how your life is set up. But with that said, number 1, outside of God, I come first. Always. Outside of God, I come first. Always. 2, I prioritize my own wants and needs. 3, I don't care what other people think of me. 4, I am my only responsibility. 5, I give myself permission to say no, and it feels good. 6, I speak what's on my mind, no matter what anyone thinks or feels. Number 7, my no means no, and I stand on that. And number 8, this is my life, and I live it how I want to. Every day you say these affirmations. Again, you can edit them however it is that you want to. But this way we start to rewire the brain to prioritize ourselves and please ourselves. And we stop having the beliefs that we should prioritize everybody else and please them, right? And I have so many thoughts and ideas, and I know you are going to just love them all in the next and upcoming episodes. And so I hope you lovely ladies enjoyed today's episode. And if you want some other podcast recommendations that have the same vibe I do, I would definitely check out the Date Yourself Instead, hosted by Liz Boss. That's LYSSBOSS, space in between. So Date Yourself Instead by Liz Boss. The Flow Era by Chika, that's CHIKA. And How to Be a Dangerous Woman with Dr. Crystal Connor. And I am just so happy to be a part of the collective of women who have done the work and are now reaching back to our sisters who might be farther behind on the journey to give them empathy and grace and guidance and inspiration. And I am just so here for it. And with that being said, officially, I hope that you enjoyed today's episode with me, your host, Alyssa Khadija, here on the Girl I Got You podcast. Be sure to subscribe and follow on Apple as well as on Spotify. And upcoming episodes or topics will include the impact of fatherlessness on a daughter's heart, the art of not chasing men, dysfunctional family dynamics, and so much more. I've definitely got so many things in the works right now, and I am just so excited to see everything come to fruition when it's all said and done. So keep an eye out for those episodes and feel free to explore previous episodes as well. In the meantime, I love you, I am here for you, and girl, I got you. Until next time.